I love updates. I sincerely love Counter-Strike updates. Dust, looks like we're finally getting this stuff taken care of, and we might see a real game, Splice versus Denial.
Yeah, it looks like we are actually set up. I think we already actually had the knife round go live and decided, so it looks like we're well on our way. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be kind of an interesting game, though, given all the updates, though, my man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even really know how to approach this one. Like, drastic updates to the rifles, round timers, all kinds of stuff. No one had a chance to really play the game. Like, these guys probably just scrimmed before this game, before the updates, and probably aren't ready for it. It'll be really interesting here to see how it works out. But we're in the perf pistol round, and Denial just kind of takes A by storm, and looks like they will lock this one away pretty quickly.
Yeah, looks like they've got it right here. 6 going to be the last one, taking a quick headshot on rooRoooo, finishing the round up. Sorry we had to pop in just a little bit late. Lots of issues associated with the update.
Right.
Pistol round for Denial, giving them just a little bit of momentum. Regarding the maps, we've got Splice picking Dust 2. That's where we are right now. Second map's going to be Cache by Denial, and then Cobble is your third map by default.
I think this map's kind of even for these two teams. I know that Denial favors this map, and Splice also does as well, as we are going to see the second round underway. Denial just rushing into the B-bomb site here. There's a bit of a stack by Splice on the other side, you know, kind of gambling, which kind of your only option based on that type of economy. Just to see if you can give yourself a chance. And now they'll just kind of sit back and wait for exits, maybe roll over, for example, rooRoooo, CZ, and Head Armor into the next round just to, you know, pose kind of a similar threat. And actually, Slemmy picking up a MAC-10 here, going to get a couple exit frags in lower B. So doing a little bit of economic damage here to Denial, but they're still cleaning up the round, it appears.
Yeah, not too bad. In fact, you got the aKis still in hand. The only person left standing is going to be Peter, stuck in the corner. Let's get a lock on Vice. Oh, saw Vice pull the knives out. I don't think he's quite aware that Peter's around the corner. Vice caught slightly off guard. Doesn't matter. Whips out the Galil, taking the shot. Not too bad.
Right. Then just to talk a little bit more about these teams, since we're kind of in a dead round, I guess you could say. Both these teams, you know, fostering a lot of youth, right? Stewie2k, very young player, 17 years old. I think rooRoooo's also quite young. Kind of, you know, guys that people have their eyes on for the future of North American CSGO, so to speak. And I think Denial's a similar story. You got guys like Vice, 17 years old. Witmer and Vice are 19 years old. Sick is 17. So also some very young guys over there in Denial. So these are kind of like your next class, so to speak, of North American pro players.
I'm really impressed by the Denial team. I mean, they used to be Mortality Esports, and then they stepped up, not only just with their game, but also with the sponsorship, picking up Denial. And they've been a pretty solid team. They made it all the way to the Pro Series. They were number 6 within CEVO this time around. Gun round's on their way, though, Does. Looks like it's just going to be a straight-up B hit. Bomb getting dropped instantly, leaving Witmer all alone with the AK-47. Bomb's on the other side of smoke. Horrible situation. I think Splice has a pretty good idea of where he might be. One's going to be pushing in through smoke. That's Stewie in the middle of the smoke. Gets hit. Turns around and finds the headshot on Witmer.
So big round there from Splice to win the opening gun round. Still plenty of money on the Denial to make a full purchase here after they won the first 3 rounds. Pretty clean, but that's just Denial being super aggressive, like a hyper-aggressive team in general. I think you'll see this a lot on this map and on Cache as well. They're just very quick and very execute heavy. They don't really favor default a whole lot. They kind of just gather up pretty early in their round and make a big push somewhere on many of their rounds. Rarely do they slow it down. And again, look at this. First 20 seconds of the round, they're already pushing out mid to B with pretty much their full force. And they already have a little bit of a trade going on here outside B.
Yeah, Stewie2k's the last man standing. The young man just gets overrun out a window, and you see him drop. That's going to be bomb plant, putting us into a 3v2 situation. Splice Gaming working on I don't know if they even want to go ahead and commit to a retake right here. Slemmy's working his way up towards B, and he is going to be the first man in.
And your money's going to get reset here, so these two guns are actually kind of important, but they're going to try to go for it here.
Wow.
So that's fine to pick on the Vice, so it's looking okay.
Yeah, but now rooRoooo's all alone in a 1 versus 2 situation. They know exactly where he is coming out of door, and that's just going to be the end of that. Denial taking the kill, and this is what one round loss.
Yeah, still enough money here for Splice to do a little bit of buying, but if they were to lose this round, likely in a double save situation, just with having their money reset here in the 4th round, or the 5th round rather. And we are going to see Denial, true to their nature, just super aggressive, just pushing out long A. But yeah, that's a great play by him to get behind these guys.
Stuck in the smoke, comes up behind, gets 1 kill easy, misses the second shot. He's got to go ahead and reload and ends up winning the 1v1, makes it another 1v1. Not meant to be. Still, fantastic play, putting us into a 2v2. Bomb is going to go setting up at the A site. First man in is Stewie2k, the young fragger, followed by aKis. Bombs down there, sick at the corner. 1 at long.
Going to be up to aKis now. 1 versus 2 coming from CT spawn. Does spot sick here on the A ramp. They exchange damage. aKis taking the brunt of it here, and Fruit now inside the pit has a very, very, advantageous fight from that distance, and he'll take him out. And so that is Denial winning the 5th round. A little bit scary at first. I mean, they got quick long A control, but rooRoooo did a good job getting a couple of kills, kind of bogging them down, allowing their rotate to set in, and actually evening up the odds in a 2-on-2 when it was all said and done. But Denial still coming out on top there, and they do force Splice into tough times. This is like 1929 times for Splice right now. They're gonna just be hitting up the soup kitchens for the next couple of rounds and allowing Denial to, move ahead a couple more, it seems. Did you like that?
I did like that. I did like that. So it looks like Splice is setting up to go into a 3rd round loss. They need to end the round with about $2,000 or so to have a decent, comfortable buy next round. Should be absolutely no problem. The bomb goes down. No problem on the A site, and then going to start throwing bodies in, looking for any kind of kills. Look at Vice, though, come walking around the corner with a pistol in hand. And we got that one on camera. Gets the 2K in mid. And, yeah, the round was always supposed to be going in favor of Denial right there, but not like that. Not like that.
Yeah, so it's not quite double eco for Splice. They are going to force up here a bit, but only just a bit. Like, they're going to put a max 7 on Stewie2k. That's okay. So there's plenty of money to make a full buy next round whenever they get that $2,900 rolling in, and most of them are sitting at, high 2K to low 4K range. So it's totally worth getting a few upgrades here to try to make it work. And rooRoooo does get an initial pick, but like we said, Denial just very, very quick, very rapid on how they like to attack, and they're already just way out long A right now.
Yeah, rooRoooo's going to be watching from CT. Lots of gunfire. Actually stops the bomb trying to cross without the smoke. The smoke finally does go down. They pick up the bomb. They're going to go ahead and plant it. 2 parked down by long. Fruit's going to back up his teammate and get 1 kill. And suddenly Splice is looking like they're back in it to win it. They're low on guns, but they've got the man advantage. Peter on the flank.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, even though Splice didn't invest too much into that, it still works out, and it's because Denial just tries to attack so rapidly. And I think they just got one guy caught at mid, for example, just trying to push by himself. I mean, going up against a CZ close range, not really a good decision. And on top of that, they didn't smoke the long cross. They actually wanted to take those duels, maybe because they knew they were up against pistols, hoping just to get some easy kills. But instead, they got caught by another CZ frag, and then they just started collapsing all across the map, and that's Splice kind of stealing away around from Denial, so to speak. And now we are going to be in a fully bought Splice setting up into this round, and it looks like Denial has slowed down a bit, but still looking for a pretty fast A split here, it seems.
Yeah, Witmer's already been tagged up pretty good with the AWP. Mid control granted to Denial, and there's the first entry right there by Sick up top of Cat. He's just going to take position and peek and see what he can find. rooRoooo's in the corner watching for him. Gets the spray down. Beautiful. Just knocking him down. Oh, one's coming in from long. Get a watch for that. That's going to be the bomb. A site goes down very quickly. And now we're left with Peter and aKis on retake. Both coming from the same angle, too.
Yeah, I think that's just good timing from Denial. They put pressure at Cat first with Sick. He gets an entry. He starts pressuring the site, forces rooRoooo to pay attention to that area, which allows long A players to get out from Denial. You see rooRoooo get the kill on the Cat, but then long A pressures him, and that allows Fruit to get up Cat for free and get into position and get a kill. So it's just kind of, going back and forth on where Denial decided to put pressure, and it always kept Spliced on their toes, and it allowed one opening, so to speak, for Denial to push through, whether it be long or Cat at different times throughout the round to just kind of overwhelm Splice. And, again, Splice's money is going to be reset. They are saving an op and an AK. And they do have a decent bit of money here to still put together a buy, so this will be okay economically. But Denial's certainly rolling out to a pretty big lead here so far.
Yeah, rooRoooo was really low. I think he had about $800 or so at that point, so it's just that much more critical that aKis and Peter are able to hang on to the weapons, allow for some buying, and Splice buy down.
Also, I do want to note that I know the update stated that the timers changed and the majors will be using the new timers, but in this game we are still using the old 1 minute and 45-second timer on the round and the standard C4 timer. So that change in the CSGO update has not been in effect for this game.
Is the nothing, not even the sprays or anything, are in effect for this game?
I don't know about that, but the league timers are based on the league rule sets.
Right.
So they haven't adjusted in accordance to the CSGO update yet. I mean, obviously they didn't have time to. And it's going to be a debate whether or not they want to. Of course, I think eventually they will be pressured to do so to keep it uniform.
Look at aKis with the double spray down outside the doors. He sees one more piece of the corner. This is a 3K round for him. Just mopping it up, turns the corner. And then shinobi also falls to the mighty spray of aKis. 4K round, putting another point up there on the board. Splice 3 and 7. It was looking really bad. I mean, they're quite anemic. And then finally, Splice taken one by one.
I think Denial is just getting a little bit overconfident. They've just been able to kind of like execute in the first 20 seconds of the round, and they've been generally pretty successful. But now Splice are trying to put up a defense, and we're going to see a quick long A push here based off the spawn from Denial, and they're going to get the entry thanks to Vice. Slemmy, a 2-for-1, and Peter rolls in as well, and they're holding this off again.
Yeah, Peter coming up big with another op kill at long. That's going to leave the bomb all alone in the hands of witmer. He's just got an op. witmer, such a good up-and-coming opper on the scene right here. And there it is, knocking Peter out. And he's slowly evening the odds with 1 minute and 8 seconds. He's got plenty of time, plenty of options to play a little bit of deception. Looks like Splice wants to flank up behind, though.
Yeah, so he has a lot of time to play with here, and he has a defense split a bit, but as you said, the flank's coming in. But if he waits kind of patiently here, he could still find himself getting a couple of 1v1s. And again, he does have the time to, you know, try to play some mind games here against Splice and see if he can't work himself into a spot he can win from.
Witmer's trapped, though. They know exactly where he is, and they're just going to watch the angle. Looks like Stewie's actually backed off just a little bit, though. So
yeah, and they do have an incendiary on Stewie, which is big, because he can just throw it off the pizza sign in the site and actually disrupt any plant that Witmer might try to go for. Even though he's giving up long A, that's fine. As soon as he hears the plant, he can throw that incendiary. And if anything, they'll sacrifice the plant just to make sure they get a favorable 2-on-1 exchange afterwards to try to win the round.
There's the flash, so Witmer announces his location. There's the incendiary. Two of them, and Witmer peeks around the corner, and he's planning for Cat, most dangerous spot based on aKis' position. Pops out, takes the kill. Pretty much what we might have expected there, 4 and 7. Dust, let me get your thoughts on this, because we got two solid offers. You got Peter, who's got a lot of experience. He's played at a very high level. He's done a lot of LAN play. And then you've got the young guy, Witmer, who's one of the top up-and-coming offers. 1v1, who wins the op battle?
I think Peter. I mean, I just think he's more seasoned. But in that round, it's really key how that played out, like how the fire really played into it. I mean, they forced you know, Witmer to plant in a way unfavorable spot. He tried to put down his own fire to the turret, but it just didn't work out. And now we're seeing, again, Splice just wrecking this quick mid to B. It seems like the Nile only has one gear, and that's just go as quick as possible. And now in the last, you know, 3 to 4 rounds, Splice is shutting that down. I think the Nile needs to kind of reconsider how they're approaching their attack, because they're starting to, you know, let these rounds slip. You know, the quick attacks aren't working anymore.
Denial is going to go ahead and force up best they can, buying extremely low. They're going to be going into 4th round loss bonus if this is the case, which means they are forced into saving. Big round for Denial. They still have the lead, 5 and 7, you can see. And they've slowed down quite a lot.
Yeah.
Watching the corner, playing a default. Let's Splice go ahead and make the mistake.
Very, very slow here. Witmer just looking to see if he can't find something with the scout, looking to see if he can catch someone maybe rotating between the sites. But it seems like the two guys in B are pretty dead set on giving up mid, just letting aKis kind of spot it from the door, so he won't find any picks. rooRoooo, in the meantime, is getting pretty aggressive at long A for a flank. Fruit's there for now, but as he begins to walk away to set up for this execute, that does give rooRoooo a bit of space to work with, to maybe get a flank in here soon and try to just destroy this before it even gets started. But Denial still hasn't really picked their options yet. They're starting to work up Catwalk, but it's not committed. The bomb's stuck in the tunnels.
Sick working his way out towards B, but then he just gets flashed. He's forced to fall back and make just a little bit of noise. Might have been masked by the flashbang, but I don't think so. They know at least one, maybe two people are in tunnels. aKis playing for sound. There's Stewie2k taking a couple of shots, exchanging fire. I don't think he actually saw the bomb. There we go. Let's get some X-ray going. That looks a lot better. And 3.
You see a little bit of a fake on Cat from the now here, but now they're transitioning into a mid to B split. They didn't put enough pressure to force any rotates, though. So, I mean, CTs are well set up for this.
They saw the bomb. Leading with it. Out of time. Sick. You got to do something. Peek around the corner, get 1 kill. 5 seconds. He just can't do it. Makes the beeline for the bomb, and now he tries to pick up whatever frags he can. Run away, but there's 2 CTs waiting for him just outside. Towards mid. Not meant to happen. Splice. Nice job closing the gap. That's 4 rounds in a row. And Denial. Out of money.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to make that work when rooRoooo is pushed up long A and has all that information. On top of that, Denial, yeah, they throw a couple of bodies at Cat to, you know, throw some gunfire there and try to put a little bit of pressure to hold A in place, but it didn't do enough to make B move out of position, so they still had 2 players inside the site ready to hold any type of B tunnels push, and I think the timing was a bit off. Like, the B tunnels pressure came in at the wrong time. Like, it came too quick before the guys mid B could really get in a spot to actually pinch the defense at B. And so it is Splice holding on, and now you said that now no money, they're just going to try to go for a quick attack at the catwalk.
Peter ends up getting flashed out of position with the op. Works his way around the corner. Surprise! Vice opt. There's a second, and then he pulls out the pistol. Looks like rooRoooo's the one who's going to go ahead and finish the job. Peter spraying through smoke, and it's all over with the defuse. Big round for Peter. And rooRoooo.
So, I mean, it's Splice now winning the last 5 rounds in a row, the last 6 of 7, as they finally drained Denial's economy for 1, and for 2, maybe the shock and awe of Denial's quick attacks, maybe it was working for him the first, 7 to 9 rounds, but it's been all but the case now. Splice are ready for it. They're responding well. They fought back. They tied up the game. We're in the last round. We're at a full buy for both teams, and Denial has slowed it down again. They're not going for some type of quick mid B or some quick long A push. They're just kind of spreading out, but look at this aggression from rooRoooo.
Here he comes with the op. Takes 1, and he spots Witmer, gets them all isolated. And look at this, rooRoooo. He's a madman. He just keeps on re-peeking. He wants Whitmer's head. He's created just enough of a distraction, though, for Stewie2k to come around the corner. There it is. rooRoooo and Stewie2k working the job, and Fruit finds himself all alone just outside of long A.
Yeah, this is pretty much dead in the water now. Just really well done teamwork there wise between rooRoooo and the 2 B defenders. rooRoooo putting so much pressure with that op and lower B tunnels. It allows those guys in the site to actually use a flash, allow a little bit of an easier kill there for rooRoooo to re-peek with, and they're able to just kind of pinch on the B tunnels and clear it out. So just a cool little play. A lower B push in tandem with the aggression from the site itself just yields a big round for Splice, and they actually wound up winning the half despite the fact they started at one point being down 2-7. So that's a really, really good recovery from Splice.
That's a fantastic recovery from Splice, and the scoreline really tells a tale of how this map ought to go. We didn't get to do too much of a pregame with all the delays and all the stuff going on with this update right here. But if you do look at these 2 teams, Denial and Splice, I think that Denial was actually favored to win by the Go Lounge odds and all that sort of stuff last time I checked it. But walking into this game, I was thinking that this ought to favor Splice. They're coming off of that big LAN, not victory, but got out of the group stage over at Northern Arena. They actually held their own, did pretty well against CLG. I know Denial beat Splice in the past at ESEA, but we'll get to that shortly after this pistol round. I don't put a whole lot of faith in the ESEA Premier matchup just because of the map choice.
Possibly so. I mean, we're playing maps that, I guess Cash is actually, Matt Splice has been much weaker on. Denial's had a better showing on that for sure.
Splice has been terrible at Cash.
Yeah, so but the Dust 2 is a pretty even battleground, I think, for these 2 teams, and we're kind of, I guess, seeing that even on the scoreboard right now, as we do have an even 4-on-4 for now, but it's a fake, it's all a sham. rooRoooo's bringing that bomb into an empty B bomb site here, and Denial only has 2 players when it's all left and done after the initial interaction, so this is looking good for Splice.
Look exceptionally well for Splice as the bomb goes down. You see Fruit, he's completely isolated. Watch out for Vice, though, peeking around the corner. Fruit gets the first kill. Vice now, 2 men in mid. You gotta watch out for Peter. Fruit passes him, makes a little bit of noise. If Peter pushes right now, just a little bit late. No, Fruit turns around, whips around, finishes the job. It's a 2K so far. Can he find the 3K? Time is ticking away on this bomb timer. Couple of more shots. There it is. That's the headshot, but he did his job. Too little, too late.
Indeed, so I have to do something really quick. Sorry.
Ah, no problem.
I'm freeing the chat plebs.
Free the plebs.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I meant to do that, but I'm task saturated here. They got me running the production, the board, casting, everything. Normally, I just focus on one thing at a time. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know why chat was like that, guys. We had no control over it. I just noticed it, and I just noticed I had mod powers, so freedom. Let them speak.
Like Mel Gibson. Freedom!
I'm sure that's what's being said in chat as we speak. But now we're into this next round. Splice won the pistol. They're looking to close in the second round. The Nile did force up a bit. They are looking to push onto this. Yeah, I mean, they're trying to retake as quick as they can here. They have a lot of bodies already, and they spotted rooRoooo's barrel here behind the boxes, so Vice is trying to set up to grab him here.
My God!
One tap and an AK collected. Nice job, Vice.
What is that? Vice, that's how you make it hurt. Bomb's ticking away, though, and I don't think they're going to have any sort of time to make any sort of impact. It's just a matter of playing for exit frags at this point. Splice is going to go ahead and go up 10-7 at the end of this round. Just trying to make the economy hurt. Actually, it'd be pretty good if Denial can just hang on to everything they have and have a decent shot at next round. No, Slemmy says no, Shinobi. You just take a seat, mate. 4 players though. Make that 3. Make that
Splice.
3.
Splice able to get away with the round there, so that's good given the amount of pressure to now put on. But they collected a couple of guns here. Vice still has that AK. There's a scout and play here from Sick. They have some upgraded pistols and armor out there as well, so they still do pose a bit of a threat. Splice going to go ahead and gather up for a B hit, but Witmer's pushing the lower tunnels.
Yeah, Whitmer's been so effective in the past, but he's only got a pistol. P250 this time. rooRoooo doesn't check the corner, doesn't expect anything to happen. Whitmer's going to get him not able to pick up the AK-47. Quickly traded out.
The 3-on-3 now, bomb rolling into the site. And Splice had to deal with that aggression, but they came out on a 3-on-3, and they're getting the bomb down, so this is okay. They're still in a winning position, but there's been 2 AKs collected by the Nile here, so they do pose a threat on this retake.
Ooh. Sick. Trying to jump, peek the window. Stewie2k right there waiting for him. Tags him up really good and takes a second shot. aKis watching door, and that leaves Fruit now all alone. He's going to push towards door. He sees the shadow. Hits 1. Still finds himself in a 1v2. Really shouldn't be able to retake this whatsoever. Gets a kill. Makes it costly. But Stewie2k is right there with the rifle, finishing the job.
Yeah, I mean, well done there. The Nile has certainly limited Splice's economy. Look, I mean, they've gotten a 3-0 start on the half, but they've done so much rebuying. Look at their money. You got guys sitting here at $0, $50, $200. You're pretty much going to force a save right away if you can win this opening gun round. But Shinobi has gotten tagged down to 9 HP already from Peter's op. You can see Splice wants to attack this, knowing that he's weak. They're trying to take him out quickly, but good counter nades here, and Sick able to come in and bail him out.
Yeah, but Stewie2k's coming in straight from mid through the window. Able to take 1, making it very costly. Fruit's trapped in middle. Another kill. Bomb is going to go down. Nothing you can do about that. 3 versus 2 ought to be a pretty solid retake, guys.
Yeah, I mean, crazy Stewie was even able to get up mid unchecked like that, but Fruit, great recovery with 2 frags, puts his team into a 3 versus 2. They have a chance at this.
Well, here it comes. Fruit's already around the corner through the edge of smoke. Slemmy spots him. There's another kill by Slemmy. Can he find the 3rd? Yeah, nice. Unbelievable. Slemmy doing work right there. Instant 3K. Making the scoreline 12-7. Splice is running away with it. And you know what does? I think that Splice really needs to do it. We're going to be moving into map number 2, which is Cache. And we talked about this off air. Cache is a map that Splice, this roster, Splice, Slant, X, Elevate, has a terrible record. According to HLTV's stats, they're 0-7 in recent memory. The best they've done was 21-25 to complexity.
Yeah, it's definitely been a tough road for them on Cash. Whereas I feel like the Denial team, like back when they were Trifecta or even before that, the Cash was always kind of a map that they favored and did quite well on, even upsetting some good teams on it. So that's definitely something to think about. But right now, Splice putting on a clinic on Dust 2 despite the rough start. They've rolled out to a 12-7 lead. Sick now forced into a really, really tough 1 versus 2. Looks like he's not even really going to go for it. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought he was thinking about doing exits, but now he's actually gearing up to try to take a stab at this.
Well,
or not.
Yeah, the corner wasn't being watched. He might have had a little bit of an opportunity, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was Six's decision or somebody else just calling the shot saying, no, don't do it. So Six is just going to go ahead and back off. The young 17-year-old saving the AK-47. And let's take a quick look at what the economy's looking like for the team. Yeah, they're low, but they're on max loss bonus, and yeah there
good.
it is. No problem buying whatsoever. In fact, I think they needed to end the round with what, 1,400 bucks.
Right, and this is actually still a tight spot to be in if you're Splice, because again, you have to rebuy on 3 players, so the money is still dwindling there. I mean, you got guys barely at 1K range. One guy's even at 250 bucks. So as soon as you lose a round, you're going that $1,400 loss bonus. It's either going to be like a really tight force buy, or you might be forced to immediately save despite the fact you've won the last 5 rounds in a row. So that's big for Denial. If they can fit in around here, that they can, you know, work themselves back into this game just based on the low economy Splice is working with because of how close these rounds have been.
I see Splice going ahead and taking mid right away. Watch the window, though. That's 1 kill. What's going on with this? Stewie2k getting dropped. Bombs wanting to still work its way. And you got to watch for Shinobi at car. He's going to get dropped as well. And it should be an easy bomb plant. Problem is, it's going to be 2 versus 3 on the retake. They don't have enough time to feel comfortable getting into real good post-plant positions. rooRoooo hiding in the smoke. Could
Peter did
catch Vice off guard.
Peter did spot one on CT spawn, so he has a little bit of an idea going on, but Fruit gonna catch him. We do see the aggression from rooRoooo, though. 2 big kills there. Now Fruit in a 1 versus 1. This is insane from rooRoooo, and he gets it. What is that?
What is this?
We're playing Call of Duty?
That was an insane spray. I mean, he just...
Was he in midair when he did that?
I think he did. I think he got midair.
I saw it from the other guy's perspective. I didn't see it from rooRoooo's perspective, so I don't know if he was in air or not.
Yeah, we got that on camera. 3K round for rooRoooo. 14 and 7. Splice they making
oh wow,
making one heck of a comeback right here. As Vice shutting down the cat push single-handedly. aKis is going to go ahead and peek out of doors. Takes 1. He knows that Vice is also in CT. Spams through the smoke. Makes it a clean, fast win. Only losing 2 players. 15-7. We're on match point just like that does.
Yeah, this has been a runaway T-side from Splice. I mean, they're finding gaps and holes in Denial's defense. Like that 1 round, for example, you saw Stewie run up mid to B and get 2 free kills on the B bomb site players, for example. You've also just seen Splice be able to hold sites very well. I think that's the 2nd or 3rd 2 versus 3 I've seen them win in this half to, you know, keep, you know, getting this lead rolling. So Denial having really big struggles to retake even with a man advantage. So that has certainly hurt them, and now we could be watching the last round of the game. Look at Splice already just rolling into a free A bomb site as they both went long A and gave up the site.
Yeah, the site goes down. Stewie2k gets extremely aggressive, takes a couple of shots, going to cost him his life, and suddenly Denial is looking really solid here. Slemmy takes 1 down. Should realize Shinobi's here. He's going to chuck a flashbang. Vice up the corner. Nice shot. Vice finds a headshot. 2v2. aKis playing from CT. Oh, that fire's got to hurt, though. Look at that. Oh, my God, Peter! How's that possible? Wow. And aKis.
I think that's just understanding where the bomb is planted. You know, even though the smoke is there, they know exactly where they planted the bomb. They're able to, you know, shoot through it just fine. And I mean, that's really, really tough on Denial. I mean, they were up 1.7-2 in the first half from their T side, but I feel like they just got either A, too overconfident, or B, they just got too stale in their play. They were just doing the same thing over and over again, just using their spawn to push whatever it is they had the best option for. Yeah. And they just had one speed go, you know, execute in the first 20 seconds and shocking all your opponent, which worked in the beginning, but
yeah, but then Splice adapts.
Yep, exactly. And they start putting up some big holds, and it seemed like at that point Denial had nothing left in the playbook. And then whenever you flip sides there, I mean, think about it, man. We just saw Denial lose a 5 versus 3 right there on the retake on the A site, and they lost 2 3v2s before that. So they seem to be willing to kind of give up the site and play a retake, which is fine. But if you can't make the retake work, then I mean, you're giving up the site for not, right? Like you're not getting anything out of it. Like that last round, for example, they forfeited the site to keep 2 in the pit and long A, just trying to keep control of that so they could retake from there. But then they couldn't make it work.
Well, we'll be right back after this quick break with map number 2 and a little bit of pre-map analysis. Well, that was short. We're back. Let's go ahead and cut this screen right here. Denial